She is an author. She has an MBA. She has a master's in clinical psychology, and her book is called Stretch Marks. Hi, Amber. How are
Hi,
you?
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, great.
I was just reading your little bio here that you have an MBA and a master's in clinical psychology. Is that right?
Yes, yes. I like
Um,
school. It's like it's like a learning addiction.
I love how you tried to spin that in some sort of a negative way.
I know. Isn't that terrible? No, I am proud of it, but I just it's a it just shows I love to, I just love to learn new information all the time, and especially if it has to do with like human behavior, why we do what we do, what makes us tick. That's fascinating to me.
I'm the same exact way, by the way. If I could have,
Yeah.
I have an MBA and I went to get a PhD in clinical psych. That was like my, other track in life. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to talk to this lady.
I was on a track a couple years ago. I was like, reading like a book a week, and I love the moms don't read thing because I was like, God, I would love to. I always want to recommend books to people, and they're like, oh, that's nice, like random people who are not asking me anything about books. I'm like, oh, you know what you should read?
And you have four sons also. I have four kids, but you have four sons, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What's your age span?
So they're 7, 9, just turned 11 like 2 days ago, and 12. you know Anything you can do to make more space in that, give yourself a little bit more space is great. So even starting your day with whatever it is, like a meditation, or really communicating your expectations with everybody's that's around you, like the more you can like do tick that off, then when you drop the detergent, or I was trying to get stuff out of the garage because we've been like triaging groceries before we bring them in the house, and like I had these blueberries, like not blueberries, blackberries, and I dropped them all over the garage floor, and I was like, no. I was so sad.
Yeah. I put this hashtag, I only cried once today on a recent Instagram post because I feel like that's a good day, That's a
Yeah.
good day. You had the funniest line, by the way, and I haven't finished reading your book, but I'm so excited to. Let me just quote this. I have this one stretch mark that's longer and wider than all the rest. When I lay on my back, it looks like an earthworm crawled up on my stomach and died. A pet worm carcass with me always. So that's the opening of your book, which is like perfect. I'm like, oh, this is somebody I want to like get a cup of coffee with. That's
So
awesome. And
I
you wrote your book while traveling on Broadway or something. Tell me this story, please.
I did. So my oldest son, who's now 12, is a drummer. And he started drumming when he was really young, and he seemed to, I mean, I have 4 boys. I know they all, all boys and a lot of girls love to drum and make noise and can make a beat, but he kind of seemed to have a special talent for it early on. And so we fostered that because I'm a little crazy. And so, so he got really, really good. And there was a Broadway tour. There's an Andrew Lloyd Webber redid the Jack Black movie called School of Rock. I don't know if you
Yep.
remember. Have
Yeah,
you seen
yeah,
the
of
movie?
course. Yes, yes,
And
yes.
so it was on Broadway for a few years. It did really well. So they opened a touring company. And I got an email from a friend that said, oh, you should send them a video of your son. He's so good. And I was like, all right, I'll send a video. I'm sure nothing would come of it. And then they called us to New York for an audition. And we were like, oh, how fun. We'll have a story about how you auditioned once for a Broadway show. That'll be so funny. And so we all went to New York, like all 6 of us. We were like, this will never happen again. We'll just make an experience out of it. And I didn't want him to feel the pressure of like flying all the way across the country. We live in California, for like a 15-minute audition, and he'd never done anything like that before. So we were like, let's just go touristing around New York. And like on Tuesday afternoon, you'll go to this place, you'll drum, and, we'll move on. And sure enough, 6 months later, all 6 of us were on the road with this Broadway touring musical. My husband had been in the movie industry for his whole career. And so there's a lot of traveling when it comes to movies. So we knew for us that we would either all do it together or we'd pass. And that was an easy family decision for he and I. We knew that that's how we wanted to roll. And if we could make it happen, we'd do it. So we did it, but it was right in alignment with when I started writing the book. So I wrote the book like on airplanes and in hotel lobbies and like any coffee shops, like here and there, little pockets of time.
Wow, that's impressive.
Called stretch marks, and it's about like transitions and getting through and having the support and knowing yourself and trusting yourself and knowing you're not alone. And I think a lot of women kind of suffer the same concerns and overwhelm and insecurities in kind of separate silos. And so if we can come, the more we can come together honestly and genuinely and talk about them and support each other, I think it's huge.
Well, I love, Amber, that now you have this whole tool for mothers and really people, but mothers who are being stretched. I mean, that's your subtitle, mothers who are being stretched in every direction. Like if there's, this is the time for your book. Like we are all being
Yeah.
so stretched, and not just moms, obviously, dads and people in their own, even people who don't have kids. I know I'm trying to be like diplomatic, but moms are definitely really stretched right now. And to have a book like this to sort of laugh with you and get tips and everything. It's a great time for your book. So I'm really glad I heard about it and everything. So.
Well, I'm so glad you had me on. I really appreciate it. And I would have worn my robe this morning. I still have my pajama pants on the bottom. So
Awesome. I love it. Well, thanks for the chat. And it's called Stretch Marks, a self-development tool for mothers who are being stretched in every direction. So everybody go check it out.
thanks so much. Bye. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Amber. Bye.